The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and it's constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please. Today we have a player that has won most things in the game. Always played at the highest level all the way through his career. Anyone that played him would have him in their best 11. Today we have Gar Cooney. Welcome, Gar.
Thanks very much, lads. Delighted to be here. Great to see you as well. Haven't seen you in ages.
Long time, pal. So we were talking just before the Gar, and you're up at Tyrrelstown now, a club that you started off from scratch yourself.
Yeah, that's where I am now. So in 2021, there was a few of us there. There was no club up in the area in and around Tyrrelstown, Hollystown, Hollywood, Ratton, Kilbride, and a few flyers were thrown out around the estates just to offer kids to come up €2 onto the Astro. So that was 2021, and we got a bit of interest, and it just built every week. And here we are, 4 years later, going into our fourth season. We've 20 teams, and we've like nearly 300 kids. And I've been the chairman for a couple of years. I've been the kit man, the driving force behind it, the secretary and everything. But no, there's great people involved in it. I have my missus managing the under-13s girls as well.
Thanks for that now, does she?
There you go, yeah. So we were actually playing on Sunday. She was playing on Saturday and she was there in her own. Because the chap that does it with our Brian wasn't there, and she said, "Will you come out with me?" And we killed each other on the line. I said, "Two of us killed each other." She just wouldn't listen to me. You know how much you blame?
Yeah, we can edit that one out.
No stuff. But
What goes into, say, forming a team and setting it up? How does that start off? Or
do you know what? I went into it dry because obviously I've been a player for so long, and going into it not knowing what to do or where to go. I had great help at the start. Like, in fairness, there's a couple of lads at Cardiff helped us out, and even Colin Hawkins helped me out at Mochtas because I was over there doing a bit with the academy there. So, like, entering a team in, the most important thing is getting buy-in from the parents. Like, you know yourselves, trying to set them up and get them up into a league. So, yeah, good bit goes into it, but you need the good help around us, lads. Seriously, you do, because you'd be bogged down by it, you know. Yeah. But when it starts exploding the way yours has, you have to get people on board because there's too much happening. You send 20 teams out at a weekend, on a Monday there's so many problems come back. You know what I mean? And you start to...
It could be the smallest thing as well there, but it's still be addressed.
Even little things like a kid not getting picked up, the parents 10 minutes late and the coach is giving out about it, and the parent thinks there's nothing wrong because they've never done it before.
It all falls back to you then.
It all falls back to the committee and the child welfare and all that malarkey. And that's the other side of football. We obviously played football all our careers and took it for granted, but now you're on that side of it.
And back when we played schoolboy, there was none of that. It was just a manager and a coach, and you're just going on the mini.
And you say to yourself, we weren't that bad as players though.
Some of the stories of going to games when I was a young fella, like, you actually wouldn't believe it. Like, you know, so my first club was
in the boot for cars.
Well, so my first club was Cherry Orchard under 10s. I was only 9. It was myself and Kieran Moore. We lived in town, and my uncle was involved with Cherry Orchard. Georgie Cronin, now Glenn Cronin's dad. Glenn is the assistant manager at Rovers, you know. So he says, "Come on out, Gar." And I said, "I'll bring me mate with me." He was a goalkeeper. But sure, we were going down to the Keys at 9 years of age and getting the 79 bus out to Ballyfermot. Like, and then getting the bus back and walking up to me nannies. Like, just madness. 9 years of age. Well, look, you just did it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know,
that's some area that you have out there now, isn't it? Like, so that catchment area that
it's gone all the way out towards Kilbride and Hollystown and Hollywood Rat. There's huge building gone out there. I was only saying it to Alan earlier. Like, you're turning kids away because you can't get the parents involved. Yeah. Like, which is terrible, really. You know, just like
the coaches, as you said.
My missus runs the social media, and the DMs and all that they're getting. Parents looking for kids to play football somewhere, and you haven't got enough teams, or you haven't got enough coaches. But you could set up the teams, you just haven't got enough coaches.
What facilities are you using at the moment?
We're using the Lekela Astro up there, but we've very limited time on it because we're not one of the anchor tenants. So in the winter,
who owns that car?
Well, it's run by the council, but Clonee are an anchor tenant and the GAA, And both of them have been good with us, in fairness, giving us slots because we were only a new club starting off. But the winter time is a nightmare. You know, when the light comes and you can train on the grass, you can train at any time. Yeah. But when you're congesting 300 kids down to a couple of hours or an hour and a half,
it doesn't work though.
Obviously
it does work at the moment.
Along with other teams as well.
Along with other teams and people coming in parking and kids getting dropped off and gear being left everywhere. Sometimes you go home after the session and you're like, there's 300 kids that are passing through here in an hour and a half. And you're like, Jesus Christ, what's happening? Like, you know, no coaching done whatsoever. Just everybody shooting, you know. But look,
but it sounds like things are going to get bigger and bigger. Well, hopefully, get the facilities
hopefully we'll keep plugging away. You know what I mean? Definitely, we'll keep plugging away. I was only telling Al there. I done a thing on Phoenix FM a while ago, just trying to get parents involved and getting people involved. But you know the story. Trying to get people to step up. It's a nightmare.
It's hard. They say I'll do it, and then it comes to the crunch. They're like, oh no way.
And then you ask them to get guard vetted. I do the safeguarding and
the course there. Philly used it with you.
Philly's came up as the director of football. He'd finished with Drogheda. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine, so he's finished with Drogheda last year or whatever. And I'd asked him to come up, and he's brilliant. Like he brought a bit of professionalism to. He's done coaching nights and coaching seminars for us, for all the coaches, and he's basically taken a lot of the heat away from me. Instead of people ringing me about stuff, if it's anything got to do with the coaching end of it, I just go, did you speak to Philly? Because he's an A-license, he's an A-license coach, so why wouldn't you, you know? So it's going great.
Just in the group of lads you have there, there's all footballing heads, Jamie Guinness, yourself.
See, we were
the
all...
only ones that probably is Ray Kearns, that the only one that is the other one out there.
Yeah, well, Ray was a good player.
I'm only messing.
Yes, he won't like that. But see, we a bit like your own mates. Like we all went to school together. We all went to Brunner. We were all in the same class, sat in the same, just around the same. Like you, and then all the way through, obviously, and we're all mates. We played football together. Best man at each other's weddings and everything. Brilliant. So it's and then we still we're hoping to go away again in the summer. So we'll see what happens. You know. I don't want to say it's booked because my missus will probably listen.
We played Ray up in Verona there. He's probably the grumpiest person I've met in my life.
He's like that in the night out.
Is he? When it's his round.
Would there be any interest, Paul Gar, to set up a senior team up there? Have you any?
You know what? It was talked about before, a senior team, but because of the capacity issues with pitches and all that, we thought the best thing to do was the under 15s that we have now started with us under 11s. So to let them run through. And then when it's time, go that way. If we had the pitches, because we've had some interest about all the teams approached us, and the answer has always been absolutely. Go get the players, get a manager, come to the club, and then we'll bring it to the committee and we'll get them started. We're not going to turn anyone away to playing football, but we just need facilities. We have nothing. We got a little. I campaigned for ages with the GAA to get it. We got a little change room, nothing like this. And it's just been installed in the park there, so little bits of progress. And we got a toilet in the park, and then small steps.
Especially for the girls teams, they need that at that age as well.
So we've 3 girls teams now.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
And
the girls game's kicking off. We were talking about the Paul Martin about that. It's starting to kick off.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's great. You see, the girls. What I found with the girls is it's more of a social thing with the girls.
Yeah,
like they all come together. They live together. They go to shops after it and all. The girls are very easy to keep together. The lads kind of turn up with their new boots and their new this, and they go that way and this way and that way.
And that's the electric scooters.
Electric scooters, and they're flying off. But the girls are great. They're all TikTok and Jordan training and all, which does your head in. But anyway,
very good.
Brilliant. Right, Gar, we'll take it to where it all started.
Yeah, so my first club was Cherry Orchard, and I was 9. We just spoke about that there. But we were always playing on the street. The guy grew up with me nannies in Linden Hall Street in the north inner city. So my ma still lives in the Cattle Market. I used to go home at the weekends, but like we used to hang around there and play football in Kevenberry Flats, and that's how it all started. Really, I went to Brunner, and we used to jump over the railings there, and we'd play there all night, all day and all night. So I ended up going out to Cherry Orchard when I was 9 under 10s, done a season out there. But it's just my mum and dad didn't drive and that, so we were getting buses out to games and getting picked up here, there, and everywhere. It was just mad, you know. I enjoyed it, but it was an experience. Like, but if you think about it now, my young fella's 9. Imagine putting them on a bus and I'm going to walk around the car.
Probably punked on the bus as well.
Yeah. So I done the year there. There was some good players there at the time, actually. Keith Fatty came just after me. John Cleary was there. No, John Cleary. Yeah, John Cleary. So we had a good side there, but I couldn't wait to go back to the north side. Yeah. We ended up signing when I came back then. Mikey Kane, that was up in. I was in skill with Mikey as well. He was up in Kinvara, which is Phoenix. Yeah. So I signed up there for a year. Enjoyed that. Yeah, it was decent, but we always wanted to play with balls. Didn't we? So
What was your name, was it?
Yeah, we all did, because you used to go to the balls games as young fellas and jump over the wall and go in and see balls. I sound like a real outfit saying that, but we actually did. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we actually did that. So we done a year in Kinvara, and then the whole team, manager and all, went down to balls. And that's where I met Kevin Brady then. So that was like under 12s, 13s.
Premier football.
Yeah, we were in the NDSL at the start, but we were decent because we were challenging the DDSL teams. We actually the NDSL team for the Kennedy Cup, I was in that team, and we actually beat the DDSL with Keith Fatty and Paul Keegan and all them boys that ended up going off and playing in England. So I played from there the whole way up. We actually went from balls under 12, 13, all the way up to under 18s with Kevin's, and I signed a 2-year deal at the end of that.
Both.
Yeah.
Kevin's.
With boys.
Yeah.
So there was no Kevin's, there was no link at the time.
Right.
No, it was just, you played your schoolboy in the DDSL the whole way up, which was great. We'd great, like Willow McDonough was in my team and all, we'd great friend, Alan Bourne actually. Alan Bourne, that's with Mochtas, yeah. Like we had a great side, and there was none of the, although there was trials here, there and everywhere for everybody, there was no I find it now, if you're talking to some of the kids, are you going to go League of Ireland? Are you not? Are you? He's going there and he's going here, and they lose the kind of.
They split.
They nearly split. Yeah, I know my own nephews are going through it now. Where one of them is with Belvo, but some of his peers have gone up and played League of Ireland. He's the captain of Belvo and he's enjoying it, and this fella's gone to Bowes, but he's not playing, and this fella's at Pats and he's not playing. I just think our way was better.
Yeah,
play the way through, and then
I think so too.
Yeah, and see what happens.
I haven't warmed to the idea of the
League of Ireland thing. But I will say I've watched a few games down in Abbottstown and down in the Blanche College. The level that the kids are at now is phenomenal.
Right.
Like it really is. Technically, I watched a good few of. I went down and watched Neil and Junfil playing for the Irish team as well, under 15s a couple of years ago against Australia and other games, and some of the kids were really, really good technically. Yeah. Now, they have to get massage before the game and have to get a lift home and all that malarkey. So
the professional side comes with it, but that comes with it as well. That it
does a little bit. I don't think we
Charlieism.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean?
Am I right by saying now? I don't know this. That someone I spoke to, I can't remember who I spoke to today. Is it when they go? Is it does it start at 14s?
14s, yes.
And do they play non-competitive football then? Or is it
I'm not sure. I think it's competitive, isn't it?
It's competitive. We'll see how we
competitive, isn't it? I think who I spoke to today said something to me that when they go 14s, I think it might be Mike. I think it was Darren McGowan I spoke to. He said that when they go 14s,
I wouldn't believe a word out of his mouth.
He's probably drunk. But I think he said when they go 14s League of Ireland, they don't play competitive football. But I was a bit like, is that
true? I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
They just like to train and do everything professional and then go competitive football, play matches and.
No, they definitely play matches.
They'd have to, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they do, because I've watched.
Take a year out like that, could you?
No, I've looked up online and for some of the games, because I'd be looking to see if there's any games on down in Blanche IT. I'll go down and have a look at them. I'd rather watch them games now, than some of the lesser senior league games at the minute. To be honest with you, go down and have a look at them. But as I said, it never done us any harm playing schoolboys the whole way up to 18s and then going on from there.
So it was a 2-year contract, was it?
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, Stephen Kenny was there at the time, and we'd won the All Ireland under 18s. We'd gone all the way through with a good side, and at the end of that, I was actually at the leaving school at say I think I was 17. I was at the leaving school and I was starting an apprenticeship, and your just heart wasn't in the apprenticeship, do you know what I mean? Because I was still playing my skill. I just wanted to play football, and I was getting brought out because I was playing then, say, for both 16s and 17s, and I was getting brought out on a Sunday to train with the first team, which was a bit of it was great, but it wasn't there.
The reserves in 21.
Yeah. So you were playing Saturday, Sunday, and if you weren't playing Sunday, you were out training. Now you wanted to play for bows, and it was just that's what we all wanted to do. And then obviously Jay was involved as well. He was my best mate, and he was like, so there was a bit of social thing as well, because you still had your mates going up there at the same time. So, yeah, he offered me the 2-year deal when I finished my under 18s when we won the All Ireland, and then straight away I just fucking, the apprenticeship was gone.
Yeah.
Now, do I regret it? I suppose a little bit. You do regret it. You know, it was a year and a half in, so you do regret it a little bit, but.
At that age, to give any kid a chance of professional football, semi-pro football, just snap your hand off.
Yeah, you have to.
And that's your dream, as you said. You always wanted to play for those.
You'd always be thinking, like, what would have happened? But now you know what. You know what happened there. You know what I mean? So we ended up. Yeah. So I signed that, and I left, and we were full time at the time with both. So it was brilliant. Like, you know what I mean? It was everything you wanted. You were waking up every day, going out training, and it was just.
Was it in the Alta? Where were you doing our
We
training?
were training in the Alta, yeah. So that was we had the run of the place, like there was a gym and the pool, and so it was the real deal.
Proper professional.
It was, yeah. And you had I was only a young fella on little or no money, like, you know, buttons. But
that's enough when you're doing.
Well, I was living in me ma's, like, you're on a couple of £100 or whatever, a little bit more, and in appearance money, but sure, you don't make any bleeding appearance. That doesn't matter, you know. It'd be better off give me a bus pass, they would. So so that was great. Like, I enjoyed that. There was good players there as well. John Lester was with me there. Jay was obviously there. Ken O'Man was there, and we were the young bunch. Stephen Rice, Stephen Ward. And then there was real professional footballers there, like Kevin Hunt, Colin Hawkins, like real players, you know, Fergal Harkin, Fergal Harkin, like, in, you know, when I look at training against them and doing all right, doing well, I did all right, but when you look at the likes of Noonan breaking into the first team there at Rovers at 16, 17, I think you said, it's like, you know, but no, I enjoyed it there. I loved it. I loved the whole setup of it. Stephen Kenny was very good to me. And I went out on loan. At the end of the first year.
Did you get any first name appearances?
Yeah, in the second year I did. So at the end of the first year, I went out on loan to Limerick. We got to the All-Ireland. There was the under-21s thing at the time. We got to the All-Ireland final.
Dr. Tony O'Neill.
Something like that, was it? Or it was down in Cork. We played in that. And then after that, we had a couple of calls. We had a call from Stephen Kenny to go on loan, with a couple of choices, and he said, I think you should go to Limerick. He said, there's a fella that's been on I might have been on the pro licence with, and he was down at the game, and he wants you to go down. I was like, Limerick, what, you know?
Check that now.
Yeah, but it was the best thing I ever did. Honestly, I didn't. Well, I was shocked when I went down at first, because, like,
were you a bit like, I don't want to do this?
Especially on your own, because it's so used to the boys as well in the dressing room, the social things.
And it was the first time we'd kind of split from, say, the safety net of boss, like, you know, and your mates, and like they're not, you know, like, say, people that you played with and all that.
Is
like,
there a fear there where you're like, they're staying and I'm going, and I'm
there was a little bit like that, but when the first team manager comes to you and says, I really think you should go out alone, it'd be great for you. So anyway, I did it. I went down and I played. I was actually in shock when I went down first, because we'd kind of come from, you know, we come from a way of playing where we're getting the ball down and they're trying to play and they're trying to do this. We couldn't believe the hustle, and it was fellas throwing the ball. Someone throw the ball into you, throw the ball into another fella, and he just go boom up the park, it go, and then all the crowd would be like,
They'll be back to the.
Get Barber got a great term. He said a lot of league of boys is just hookers and squeezers.
Like
a hook around,
and that's it. Yeah, and that's
made a living out of it.
Do you know what actually happened there? Like, I kind of always scored goals, right, from midfield, but it was, well, the reason I say it kind of made me down a limit was because I knew the majority of them were going to whack it up, right? So I used to say the ball was travelling, I used to just go, and the centre forwards were always big, blocky centre forwards, and the ball would bobble off them. The next of all, I just put the ball in the net, and I'm like, this is great. I haven't done that. All I done is just ran through and scored. So, but yeah, again, travelling up and down to Limerick and then coming back, I actually played on Thursdays for Limerick at the time, and then I'd come back. Bows would be playing on Friday. I'd still have to report to Dalymount on Friday, even though I wasn't involved, wasn't even with them. And then Saturday morning, be a cool down Sunday morning I'd be
You
training.
do it with them.
Yeah, I done everything with them.
So did you train with?
trained
Bows?
with
I
Bows.
just played and played.
Never trained with Limerick. Never trained.
Yeah, very good.
And
At
yeah,
least you knew the tactics.
Yeah.
Just ball over the top.
but I done well in the first. I think it was 6 months. The initial loan was 6 months, and I done well. Right, so he came to me then and said to me, "They were actually playing Kaiserslautern. Remember the Bows played Kaiserslautern years ago?" And he came to me and he said, "Listen, I'm gonna end the loan." He says, "You're gonna come back and go into the squad." And I says, "Brilliant, delighted. Like I done what he asked me to do. Coming back, I might have a chance here." I was thinking, be in and around the first team and see what happens. So he says to me, "We're going over to Germany. You go with Gino Brazil." You know Gino Brazil? And
Yeah.
He says, "You go with Gino. The 21s are playing out in Sports Link or somewhere like that." He says, "They've a game tonight. Play that game. Have a couple of days off. When we come back, we'll go at it." And I says, "Perfect." So I went out and played in Sports League, and what happened? We done me cruciate.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it was. I never forget it because I had the blades on, you know, the blades, and they were only kind of a newish thing. And I stuck my foot in and I turned, and it was like I'd heard, say you had a load of elastics in your hand and you just ripped them apart. It was just like, right, and I pulled them apart and I was like, shit, something's had to happen there. And my dad was at the game and all, he says, and I says, "No, I'm all right. And I knew I'd heard it go. And I says, right, so I grew up and I says, I'll start running, I'll be all right. So I started running. I says, I'm actually all right. And I went to turn and my leg just stayed where it was. I was like, Next of all, I'm on the ground. Next of all, I'm on the ground. So that was a nightmare.
How old were you then?
I was about 20, I think. I was about 20. It was like a death in the family when that happened, honestly, because I was coming to the end of the 2 year. So it was I'd done the first year, went down on loan for the second year, and the last 6 months, it was to be go for it. And I'd done the cruciate, and it was a nightmare. But in fairness now, Stephen Kenny, I know they had to look after me, but what he actually did at the end of that 6 months, he says, I'll actually give you another 2 years. So he gave me another 2 years. So he said, get yourself right for a year, and then there's another year. Now it was on trust. Yeah, it was. And it was on brutal money, but he knew I was after doing everything I could to get where I wanted to be. And so I had a hard year. Like back then, I was only a young fella. Like the cruciate was not many people came back from a cruciate. Like, you know, it's over.
It could have ended people back then.
Yeah, it could have. Like, it's 22 years ago. I remember like going over or doing exercises and all, going to see physios, and they're not knowing really
what we doing with it. They're probably afraid to, man, in case you've done it wrong.
Yeah, not knowing really what to do with it. You've done it.
Yeah.
You know, a nightmare. Like,
How much football did you miss?
I missed the whole year. A whole year. Yeah. Even the likes of, you know, doing weights on it and all. I didn't really know what I was doing.
People were probably a little bit.
Yeah, they were fearful of it.
Fearful.
Yeah, but I came back from it. A year later, I came back, and I ended up going out on loan to Kilkenny, actually. And I came back, done, I think about 10 games out there, down in Kilkenny.
Down there myself.
You had just left, had you?
Yeah. No, I went.
Or did you go after me?
Could have been after you, because I'm a bit younger than you, so.
Yeah.
I went down there when I was about 19, 20, so when the fuck was that? I don't know.
I done a little stint down there, and then I came back to Bows, and Gareth Farley came in. So he kind of took a liking to me then. Stephen Kenny got the bullet. He took kind of a liking to me then. I trained well, and yeah, look, it was just time to go, I think, at the end of that season. So towards the end of the season, I made a few appearances. I played the last game. It was actually a great game. Cork had to win the league, and we went down with Bows down to Turner's Cross, and the place was rammed. But we had nothing to play for. Yeah. And they had to win the league. It was great. We had a great game because it was all relaxed, you know. They were running around like mad jokes. We were just playing. And I never forget it. After the game, on the way back in the bus, he says to me, because he'd said nothing to me in the whole build up to me contract ending. And after the game, he says to me, will you come down and meet me tomorrow? And I says, yeah, down the club. So I went down to meet him the next day in the club. He says, I'm at me on to the club. He says, we'll give you another year, but we'll give you the same money, but give you extra appearance money. And I don't know what made me say, I just goes, no, do you know what? I just didn't feel, I wasn't getting in, like, let's be honest. I played the last few games, but we nothing to play for, and it was just time to go. And I actually left without having a club. because I just knew it was time to go.
Yeah.
You know, it was just...
And it wasn't even the money side of things. People saying, nah, fuck this, I'm not going to save for that money. But
Well, like, to be honest with you, yeah, I say that, but like my missus was working, I was on shite money, but I was playing football, which was great, but there was a time when I has to be like, come on, like, I was about, I think it was 22 at that stage. So I ended up then, Gary Howlett actually was at Bowes at the time. He got in touch with John Ryan, who rang me and said, I think Pete was on to me to go to UCD.
yeah.
And John Ryan asked me to go down to Kildare. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go down to Kildare and I'm going to go back walking. So that's when I ended up walking with Kevin Brady. You know Kevin, yeah. I ended up walking with Kevin and playing down to Kildare. And I played and loved that. It was brilliant. Like, it was just, the first division was tough, but I really enjoyed it down there, I have to say, for a year. I got in the team of the year and all and scored a load of goals. And then, like, Alan Bourne was down there. I think Philly Hughes was down there. You were there, were you?
Was there as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were just kind of folding. Kenny folded when I left, and then Kildare folded.
That's what you were up against back then, though, wasn't it?
Did you follow Wefta as well?
Yeah. Fingers United's next.
Yeah.
But yeah, Philly was there when I was down there. He was, yeah. He's on loan from Shells. He was.
I left there. I went to Kildare then, and I played that season, and I done well that season. I played a load of games, scored a good few goals, and then Pat Scully rang me, and I got a 2-year at Rovers.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was like they were at there. He was at there assembling a new squad. He basically went into the first division and took all the best players in the first division and put them all on contracts. But we didn't know he did it to everybody. He gave everybody. You think you were great for a while, and then you're looking, there's 30 in the squad. You know. So I played a bit there. I think I done about 8 months there or something. I can't remember. Played a few games and.
What was he like?
He got them where they wanted to be. He got them back up into the Premier. I think, did they win the league today? I think they might have even won the Premier. Yeah. And but he was ruthless. But I respect the fact that he had a job to do and he just went and done it. Didn't matter who got in his way. Like he didn't play me after about 6 months, and he kind of, if he wasn't playing you, he was making your life difficult, like, you know. But look, that's management.
Would you think that was hoping that you'd leave, so you're off a contract then?
Yeah,
probably.
And that's what and it happened.
That's the ruthlessness of it.
That's and you have to be a big boy and say, you know, it is what it is, you know. But sometimes some of the things they say about you, you're kind of going to question your attitude and that. And no, not that it happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other players. You kind of go, he's trying to get this fella out. You know, that never happened to me. And then 6 weeks later, it's you, isn't it? Yeah.
Then you're waiting for your reaction off and then as well to say, really, listen, you're out here.
Yeah, so I was made available then that I could go about 6 months into that. And then, so where did I go? I went back down to Limerick. But just before I went to Limerick, what's his name? I could have went to Dublin City. But Dublin City, so I'd met your man.
City were a new club then.
Well, no, they were on the other way. They were on the way down, but they folded then.
They didn't play for them.
Nelson
went to watch them one day. Gone.
I went back down and played for Limerick, and that's when myself, John Lester was there, and Ozzy O'Neill. We were doing a bit of training up here, and we were driving down training once a week, and we were playing a game. It was hard going, like, you know, and we were walking as well. But I enjoyed Limerick. But then, as it turned out, at the end of that, about 10 games into the second half of that season, when I was with them, we were playing Rovers up here, and I done my cruciate again.
Same knee?
Same knee, yeah, same knee. Done my cruciate again. So I think it was, I jumped up and landed and I hyper extended it or something. I can't really remember, but I remember I just hit the ground, and it was the one I was after getting the operation on, and I just went, something's after going there again. So I was gone again. I went.
Don't you have? You just know.
You just know.
You just go, that's gone.
Yeah, you just know, and I remember going and getting the scan, and your man says to me, "Look, there's good news and there's bad news." He says, "You're out there doing your cruciate again, but you didn't tear it completely. The graft that's in there." He says, "You're gonna need to get your cartilage done, so you're gonna need an operation, but I won't need to repair the cruciate if you do a right rehab." And I was thinking to myself, I have to fucking find out how to do a rehab, but it worked. And anyway, I went and done it, but the whole thing with my job was going on at the same time as well. So what I'd say, like,
where were you walking this time?
I was only had to get me letter to get into the fire brigade. Literally 25, only had to get me letter to get into the fire brigade, and I was had to do my cruciate twice. So I had, say, 6 months to get myself right for the training, and all the time I'm thinking, if we do my knee again here,
So
it's gone. So I went for the medical in the fire brigade, and when I went for the medical, I had to get a letter from the surgeon that had done my knee to say that I was fit to do the training and to sign that contract with the fire brigade. So I was just like, right, that's it. And that's when I stopped for a year because I had to build. First of all, I had to rehab the cruciate, and then when I got into the training, I was thinking to myself every time, and the training was tough. I was thinking to myself, oh, don't go, because if it went, I was gone. Career's gone. You know, so it was stressful, but at that stage, that was kind of when I was mid-20s, and football was just. I said to myself, I can't. You know, because we started having kids every year as well then, you know, so I just said to myself, I can't, and I stopped. But that's when I met Christy.
So that was your way out of League of Ireland. It was because of that your own decision to just go walking, and then
it was just I was at the only cruciate for the second time, so there was nobody ringing me either. Like, let's be honest, like, you know what I mean.
I'll say the thoughts as well, because you left the apprenticeship, year and a half apprenticeship.
Exactly.
With other than qualified now by now, we'll probably fucking earn my own few quid.
Yeah.
Have my own business, whatever, and then I'm sure that was in the back of your
So
mind.
then the other thing you have to remember is it's 2007, 2008.
That's the crash, was it?
And that's when the shit hit the fan here. So when I actually went into the fire brigade, there was a panel of 100 and I was in the first, say, 40. None of the ones after us came in because the crash came and they scrapped panels and everything. So if you got injured, you were gone. So that's
the defining moment.
It literally, it was left or right, and I went the right way, thank God. But I didn't even think about football for a year because it was the right thing to do. And then Christy got in touch with me, and Kevin, they were going up to, they were at Mochtas. Yeah, Brian McCarthy was up there. In fairness to Brian, he's built that club, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's doing them, because I remember when I went up there.
It's only a container up there, was it?
Yeah, they were only a little container, but I was after being out for ages, and I suppose I'd finished my training and I was in a station and everything, so that part of it was grand, because if I got injured now, I still have a job now. I was thinking to myself, I'm all right. But I went, Christy and Kev were up in Mochtas. He said, come up and give it a go. They were 3 leagues down. There was just a field up there and there was a container. But like what they've done up there is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have the utmost respect for Brian and where they're at, and all of them up there. Like, fair play to them.
In fairness, look, I know we all kind of say about on other end of things that like the likes of pain and things like that, but like you can't take it away from what the people do on the club.
No.
What Brian has done, what position the club is in, the facilities, it's done right, they've the right people around the place.
Yeah, I remember trying up there. There was a little generator and a light and a cold container and a brutal tin. And Christy, you come up and give us a hand, and they were like, I don't know what league they were in. They were a few leagues down, and I was like, oh Jesus, this is hard going, like, you know. But I done it then, and then Christy left and went to Wefty. Yeah. And said, will you come down?
Did that happen during the season?
I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure.
I can't really remember.
I haven't a clue. Ask me when we
But
started.
when Christy and Kev left, I was like, gonna go. Because it was only really up there for them. Even though I was living in Blanche, it was only really up there for them. But then I came down to Wefty. But sure, I knew nothing about Wefty, Ballymun, the rivalries that were good. I knew nothing. Absolutely nothing about. I remember when I came down and all yous were there, I was like, these little cunts are brilliant. Crockett flying around everywhere and all spanky and all. Here I was. These are good players. Look, I better get my finger out here. Yeah. But and then some of the games we played against Ballymun, and you were bleeding running into walls before the game and all. You know, it was all
something different for you.
Yeah. I was thinking, this is great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You came from a professional dressing room to a bunch of lunatics.
Yeah, we were up in the Mater Christie. Yeah. So that's when I started getting my love back for it. I have to say, I did. I was unfortunate with that team, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, we were. Yeah, I think them few years even that Christie had, then probably with Jay and Gago. Again, I'll probably go back to not getting over the line with a trophy or
that's all it was.
And we were always, I think even Bill explained it well. He said, Bill McLean said that they were either always a manager short of winning something, or else a player or two short of winning.
Yeah.
But we had a team there, like we had us three there, Daz, Crockett, Spanky, Stevie.
Ryan was there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. Keith Hannah and all. And like a serious team there. But
We're all the same age as well, all kind of young enough as well, and then you one or two old lads there as
just
well.
over the line, yeah. Do
Yeah.
you know what though? I don't even think we made any really much of a source. Like, no, I don't think we even got to any like finals or semi-finals even really at
No.
that stage, like where we should have.
No, I agree with that. There was a lot of great individual players, like, wasn't there? Like, I remember training up. Remember we training in the indoor up there, and some of the five-a-sides were absolutely
We used to do the futsal.
futsal.
Flying, wasn't it?
Flying.
Yeah.
Like, you would think this
Bullet
is
and Keno
yeah.
as well there at the time.
yeah, brilliant. Like, but everybody kind of went their separate ways, and everybody done well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you went and done your thing, and Crockett went up to Mochtas and did his thing, and I went
Daz,
Daz done
Then
his thing.
Nelson.
I was just looking around there and saying, what the fuck did I do? Folding teams left, right and centre.
Yeah.
But yeah, long did you done a few years up there. What was that after Garden?
Two, I think.
Two, was it? I think I
I
came back
loved
in-
it, you see, because I was working nights and Christy's very good at me, like, you know, he was like, just come when you can. But sometimes I like turn up 5 minutes before.
I remember you coming to games where you were just straight off a shift, a 12-hour shift.
Straight up, yeah.
Not even slept.
Yeah,
Not even slept.
that's right,
Go out and be the best
Man the
player.
match, yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think that's a good man manager that Christie had,
Yeah.
and a lot of managers probably have as well. But if you man manage a player that's
Yeah.
good enough to do that,
Well, that's-
I think you have to.
The players
do that
accepted it
anyway.
as well.
Yes,
Did that
of course.
cause-
Like,
yeah.
nobody complained. We were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we need Gar in the team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that was Christie's best trait, though. Christie was a fantastic man manager, like, you know, he was brilliant at that, and everybody had the utmost had the utmost respect for him. So, like,
Just keep in touch with him.
the odd time I text him and that with the coaching and all, I've met him actually out, and his jump was playing out in Skerries. I met him a few weeks ago, and he's a great fella. Yeah, I have to say, great man. But the team kind of naturally went its own way, didn't it? I wouldn't say I left. I did leave, but like, I wouldn't say no. But
So
I didn't. I
You
didn't
get blamed at this.
I didn't leave the way he went in. He went down the talking.
Finger point again done
Fucking
down.
hell, down the talking. I remember texting him going, "Are you winding me up?" Oh, stop.
Brilliant.
No, but
So where'd you go?
do you know, we went down to, there was a bit of a transition there, because when we were finishing at Wefty, I was actually playing for the Fire Brigade team, the Irish Fire Brigade team, right? And we were going over to the World Games in New York, so I was very focused on that. I was the captain of that team. That was brilliant. Like, we finished third in the world. That was really, it was brilliant. Like, we got beaten by the Russians, right? They had professional footballers doing their military service through the football team, so they were all over there. We beat the Spanish and then the Russians hopped off with 6-0. yeah, you know. But I was very focused on that, and I ended up playing on that with Craig Sheridan, and I was working with Sherrill. So when everything kind of happened with Wefty, kind of the natural way that it went, I says, I think I'll just go down there. I fancy Friday night football. And then again, I signed for Phoenix.
Craig was with Phoenix then.
Yeah, he was with Phoenix, and Harry Kenny was there, and then Cairnsey, Ray Cairns, my mate, was there. And like, there were some good players there, John Brophy and Gavin Whelan. Great player. But so I signed for them Friday night football on that Astro on a big pitch with suited.
They setting up that new Astro, was it? Around there?
Yeah, it was. It was the biggest Astro in the world.
Yeah.
It was
Huge,
huge.
wasn't it?
Huge. Now, we were very fit at the time. Myself and Craig used to be running into work every day and everything, so that big pitch suited us. But again, I went into the Leinster Senior League then with Phoenix, and it was pretty similar to coming into the AOL League. I knew nobody. I didn't know any of the players really that you were playing against. Didn't really know much about the clubs. So you were turning up and
You don't know what to expect.
you don't know what to expect, and you were having great battle, because they didn't know me either. Or I would say, you know what I mean? Would you say that?
I didn't know who you were either, because obviously I wouldn't have had the following the league. But when you came into Wefty, I remember you were training when Christy Force came up, and you know yourself. You can see in the four sessions, especially Slopfest.
I know.
It was Gar, didn't know who he was, you know. But
so
when
that
he played with you then, you know.
Yeah, so that's I signed there, and I played that season, and I really enjoyed that season with Phoenix. Like, we done all right. We were a mid-table team, but we had some good players.
It was a good league then. It
was brilliant. It was brilliant. Some of the games in that league, like, were the toughest games you'd play in. Like, the Crumlin games were always tough, and like, just, you know, Bangor. Yeah. Horrible place to go out there, like, you know, a really tough place to play. But I really enjoyed that, and that kind of came to a natural end as well there. Like, when I played that year in the first year with Phoenix in the Leinster Senior League, like, I was getting phone calls from all the clean clubs over the south side and that to come over there, and we'd no real interest in it. But having finished that season with Phoenix, I thought to myself, I have to win this bleeding league. I said, I have to win this league. It was brilliant, like the league was. There was
Phoenix just weren't pushing for it.
They weren't pushing for that.
Even though they had a great squad.
Yeah, and do you know what actually happened then? It's the same as I did leave, but Harry Kenny had left. He'd gone, at the end of that season, he'd gone to Bray, and Mark had come in to take over, and I was thinking, like you'd have to play for Mark. But then Mark left and went to Crumlin. Yeah, Mark left and went to Crumlin, so it was easy for people to kind of go their own way. So I ended up meeting Neil and then he'd rang me about 50 times, and I went and met him in O'Connell Street with Trevor Malloy, and I said, look, I said,
he was up there at the time,
Trevor, and I would have, obviously Trevor had played for Bows, and we were always young fellas going out and watching him, and I was like, you have to come up by this time. I played against him a few times, and I said, Southside again. I was like, look, I'll give it a go. And then that's probably when I played my best football up there and enjoyed it the most. I really enjoyed it because I went there, and of all the clubs you played for, without disrespecting other clubs, that team was a team of men. Like, it was, Jesus Christ, there was captains everywhere in that. Big characters, captains, and you could nearly just go about your own job, without, other things you played for. You nearly, you're up and down and left and right, and you're fighting over here and fighting over there, and that team.
Leave your position on someone else.
Yeah, that team kind of have. Now, the first year, we didn't win the league the first year, which kind of spurred you on again, but it scored a load of goals in that first year.
What are we talking?
I don't know, like about 30, I'd say.
From midfield?
Yeah.
Fucking jeez.
Yeah, I scored loads of goals that year, but Crumlin has still won it. I know, yeah. Crumlin won it, but they were a great team.
Yeah.
They were a great team. But again, I didn't know any of the players. Obviously, I know now the likes of the lads that played in the middle, James and all them fellas that played in the middle. Like, I didn't know any of them players because I never. So playing against them, they probably didn't know me. Was brilliant. Like,
that's where you kind of made your name. Was it Bluebell? Would you say?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so because
I think most players, people that speak to, you say who's the best player you ever played with, probably yourself or Barbers is the mentioned first.
Is it? Yeah. All right.
Thanks. Yeah, no, that's when I would have seen. Well, obviously I seen you. At your best a lot with Weft, obviously, but I think. See,
I was at that stage. I was say late. I was late 20s, early. I was there at Bluebell for a few years. What you would say was your peak, having missed out in the time I'd done the second cruciate. People would say to your mid-20s you were great. I kind of kicked on in my late 20s when I got to Bluebell and I was like ready to win a league. I got that real buzz for turning up every week and being at your peak, eating right. I always trained
a lot of players in that squad when you went over to Bluebell would have probably been hitting that peak as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
The likes of Tony and
I
think was Buzzer there when you were there?
No, Buzzer wasn't there when I was there. He came later on.
Larko was there.
Larko was there. There was some Shane Stritch was there. Jerry Bambrick, John Cleary, Peter Rogers, Tony Keeler, when I said, just men, without disrespecting other teams, they were kind of you were nearly bullying teams off the park. But good footballers,
So what season was the second season you won the league? Was it?
It was the second season we won the league.
Did you win anything the fourth season?
No, we didn't. No, we finished second in the league. I think we were knocked out of the intermediate in the semi-final or something like that.
Close,
but they hadn't won the league over there in. I didn't realise that when I was going over. They hadn't won the league because I was saying I want to go over and win a league. They hadn't won it in 26 years. I didn't realise that when I was saying, we need to go and do it. I mean, what do we have to do? But the relief of winning that league the second year was it was so stressful. Enjoyable, but everything was every week. The games, there was big crowds at the games, and you had to win. You had to score.
So every game's a big game.
Yeah, you had to win. You had to score, and that just drove me on. Honestly, it drove me on. I was as fit as I'd been in a long time. But so it was always kept my fitness up. But I really wanted that.
Scoring goals as well. Once you get that season.
Yeah. I don't know. I was in the 20s.
It was high enough.
Yeah, it was high enough. Yeah.
You said you stay in touch and you have a group and all.
Come here.
Especially when you've been successful.
We met up at Christmas, and we done the same last Christmas, and you keep in contact with a few of them, and it's great, isn't it? That's what football's all about, really, isn't it? You know,
it really is. I love doing that with ex-players and ex-teammates.
Tell them about how good you were, like, you know. Like,
Sure comes out after a few drinks.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, past it. Will you stop? But I left then, the end of that season.
So did you only do 2?
I did the first 2, and then I went back to Mochtas.
Right.
So I was actually studying at the time. I came back to Blanche. Do you know what? There was nearly a mental, I'd say, release when it was all done. You're after winning the league, you know. And I came back over and played for Mochtas again.
Did you get anything else? Any other cups, or was it just the league?
No, we were beating cup finals by Crumlin again, I think. No, when I came back to Mochtas, and I got in touch with Brian to come back, in fairness, but Philly was after coming up, and Sherrow was there again, and I was walking on the north side, and everything was just easier to come back, and I did. And I probably shouldn't have, in fairness, you know. I should have stayed over with Bluebell. I really should have, because I ended up going back to Bluebell obviously at the end of that season. I was nearly going to go back at Christmas, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I just was kind of like going, like, I wasn't playing as well for Mochtas as I was for Bluebell, and that's what happens with teams. You know, you fit into some teams and you don't fit into others, like, you know. And I ended up going back and playing I done the season at Mochtas, and I went back and played for Bluebell.
How old are you now at this stage?
I'd say I'm 33. I went back and played for Bluebell, and Mochtas won the league.
Oh, good luck.
And I tell you, and I scored a load of goals that season. At the end of the season, we were pushing them. That was the one that went to the last day of the season. We had a great team now. We played
Crumlin the last game of the season.
We played Crumlin. For the last 5 games, we won them 1-0, and I'd scored them all. Like 1-0, 2-1. And I remember people saying, "You really want to win that league?" And I was thinking, yeah, of course I played 2-1. and in the last game, we beat Crumlin 2-0, 2-1, and I'd scored the 2 of them. But they'd won 3-0 or something.
Yeah, over the waist.
Yeah, and I was walking with Craig at the time in the same stage, and he was the captain of them, and I'm over at Bluebell, so we were actually walking together. He was going playing for them, and I was going playing with it, and I'm coming back, and I was fucking raging. Absolutely raging. But so then that was the end of that season. And then I said to myself, so that kind of, having lost that league that season, I said to myself, I have to win it again. And I went again the next year, and we won it.
Bluebell?
Yeah, we won it with Bluebell that year, but we had an absolutely brilliant team. I mean, you know, it was the old crew were kind of back together again, and got the kind of, I'd say, the bite to go again. Yous were going well as well. Were you at that time? Was it us and yous that finished the end?
I think my first year with Crumlin, I think Bluebell won it. We finished 4th, I think.
Yeah.
I think Crumlin were at the point of hitting a bit of a transition.
That's what I mean, yeah.
They were playing Saturday nights, and then Martin was a bit sceptical that, you know, they hadn't won the league in 2 years or so, changed it back to Armagh Road, and we started pushing a little bit. I think we won the Charlie then, but you was pushed on for the league then.
Pushed on, yeah. We won it out in Portmarnock.
That year anyway, you were stronger than us.
And that's right, and we had a lot of players at that stage just coming to the end, I think. You know, so I was the same. I was 34, I think, at that stage, and it just gets harder and harder to play, like, especially when you're working nights and the likes of that. I found it difficult enough to...
The year later then going to try and challenge
like to how I was 2 years before that, like say early 30s to 34 or whatever, was completely different. Like, you know, I was probably putting on a bit of bulk or whatever, like doing the weights, which didn't help you. And
you always trained, didn't you?
Always did. So remember we done the thing with Jay and everything. The Juco.
You've been flat out with it then.
Yeah, flat out for ages, yeah. We were training like mad jokes though. We're going over there at 6 a.m. before people start really doing that, you know. But so that was the end of that season. We won it again. And I was at that point where I kind of started going, right. I was like...
Did you feel yourself declining as like football wise, like, or...
Yeah, I probably did a bit. I probably did feel myself declining, but I would say a bigger issue was I had 4 young kids at home. And
the job you have.
The job, 4 kids...
It's hard to juggle.
Yeah, and Aoife has her own thing going on, you know, the hairdressing, and you're kind of like, it was very me for so long that we did when it started getting a bit not monotonous, but because we love our football, we're football people, like. But you know what I mean. There comes a point when you're like I'm 34, I'm nearly 34. I have to give something back. I have to give something back here. So the next season, did I play? I think I signed for Blue. I played a bit of Saturday football for Tony. That's right. I went and played a bit of Saturday football for Tony, but that kind of fell off. It was myself and Shawnee Gleeson played, but that kind of fell off a little bit then, and then it was just time to go. That's when.
So most people say I had to retire because of an injury and stuff like that, but you just naturally.
Yeah, I think it just
time came. Yeah,
the time came, Nelson. And I didn't drop down the leagues or anything like that. You know, like people say, I played local with my mates, or I didn't. We were all like Philly was playing there, Jay was playing for. I don't know who he was playing for at the time. I think he was playing up the north. Kearnsey went up to Drumcondra or somewhere like that. So they were all still playing, but you're getting a bit of grief at home as well. So it didn't help. Like, it is. Yeah.
It's hard. We dedicate so much to it, you know. Like the weekends you're missing the holidays off and everything. Like,
but we were really dedicated to it. Like some of the fellas out all night and then going playing games, and that didn't happen. No. Like honestly, it didn't happen. Like we were eating right and everything and training like mad jokes and making sure you were right for the weekend because you loved it. Just absolutely loved it.
Even the dressing room before and all, having the crack and all. Because you used to meet an hour before it, but you didn't feel looking now because there's the shenanigans going on in the dressing room or whatever, you know. No,
absolutely loved it. And that part of it you do miss. Yeah. But look, come here. There's other fellas in your place now in the dressing room making their own memories. That's the way we look at it, you know. There's fellas, there's pictures of yous on the walls or whatever, but they'll create their own thing. So
exactly,
that's what it's all about.
So it's up to us to facilitate it now. They obviously with you with Tyrrelstown and
else, that's it. Like you have to give back because, like you said, we're football people, aren't we? You have to just stay involved in it. You know.
Do you think when you finished up with the starting of Tyrrelstown, what do you think kicked that off? Is it a fulfillment then of when you finished playing football? Did you need football back then?
Just miss it, like just you.
I did. Yeah. I actually waited till I was up at helping out. My young fella was only 6, and he was up at Mochtas, the academy up there. So I was up and I was popping in and helping out up there. And then this opportunity came to say start the club because the area was booming out there, and. So that kind of project did fill the gap that was there, but it's absolutely exploded the gap now. I mean, when you're doing as much work as we are now, But look, it's great. You have to give back to the kids. It's like yourself, Nelson, doing your thing and you doing your thing down here. That's what we're all about. If we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just the way it is. But I enjoy doing the kids. I don't know whether I'll be able to do the senior.
Just bigger kids. That's all you are. That's it, they have the same show. Tying the laces, wears me sock, but leaves me shorts at home.
Yeah, look, you can't really have a pop out of a kid, but the way we get narky, look, you know what I mean? If you're a fella, in his mid-20s, charlieing around the place, you'd be like, that did my head in.
You said that when you go and watch
watched a few games, and like they're good. Like there's still some great players. Like Carlo's a great player. I've seen Carl playing, still has it. Like playing for like. But some of it, I don't know. Maybe we always think that our generation was better, don't we?
Yeah. I think the generation before us thinks that.
Exactly.
Look, I'm sure people have said it even before. I'm sure the younger generation from us are probably saying, these pricks on this podcast
exactly.
saying we were better. And
fucking berate them every week. We had
a conversation with one of the lads off English United, a couple of them at the Christmas deal, and they were like, what do you think about football now? And my take for it was, it's as you said, it's probably just because of my thoughts on a generation, but thinking that my generation was better than this generation now. You know what I mean? And there's an argument there, and I think you're never going to be able to compare that.
No, but theirs was better.
100%. Did management never cross the mind?
I think when I did finish at that time, I needed a little break from it as well. Do you know what I mean? I just needed to. I suppose now I am a manager. I am a manager, but there's under nines counters.
He's just a glorified babysitter.
Glorified babysitter. No, you never know. If the right opportunity came,
usually most people could probably go back to their old clubs. Bluebell or the FEMA.
I probably would get into it at some stage, but at the minute, I'm just bogged down with what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing as well. And you can see this project growing that we're starting up there. It's great. So no, for the minute. because of what we're doing. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly,
I had the under when we started. These kids that came onto the Astro and they were under 10s and they're now playing 13 Premier. And they're the ones I had from the start. There's a couple of them have been in the NDSL squads and they're probably going to go play in the Kennedy Cup. That was brilliant, like that was great fulfillment for me. And three of them live on the road where I live. You know what I mean? And it's great.
You've seen them grow up.
Yeah, seen them grow up. So
played a part in it.
Exactly. So that's how we ended up going. So I have 4 kids and they're all playing. And I was managing that team, and it's that team hasn't got any of my kids in it. So I was going to think to myself, when the young flick came, we always going, I better go back down and start with him. So we still do a little bit of coaching with them, but started again then down with him. And now it's just you're gone from 13 Premier players to under 9s who won't listen to you, and your head is ready to fall off. You know? But there you go. You have to just.
And isn't everybody different, because they're like you would have struck me, Gar, obviously a leader on the pitch and all. You definitely say like Gar could potentially definitely be a coach or a manager or whatever, right? But now you're down there like trying to shake under 9's heads, and then say myself or you, Nelson, in a coaching. But I know even people like some of our mates like that love football and just have zero interest in it now whatsoever, and everyone's just so different to it.
Everybody. Well, you do give up so much time to it, and the other thing I would say, even from my own situation, you never know what's going on with people. Like, are they getting grief at home? And not saying I did, but you know what I mean. Are they busy at work? Like, it's difficult to spend 20 years playing football at a good level.
That time, it's hard
and then you're all of a sudden you're older, and now you go in and tell your gaffer or whatever, listen, I'm managing the team now, I need to get off for an hour, and they're like, here.
When's 10 days are gone.
How does that work with you now, with where you are with the fire brigade and so coaching and managing?
No, it's actually, I never miss work for coaching now because it's kids coaching, but I recently got promoted in there, so like my work situation has kind of changed. I don't really know where I'm going to be from one week to the other, so I make it work. Again, I was just saying to you earlier, it's about bringing people in with you, don't you? We bring a few fathers in to help out and kind of set the plan around the week, around my schedule and what we can do. That's all we can do, because we're the volunteers here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Any parent or anything gives out about a coach to us as a committee, you have the coaches back straight away, because they're the volunteers giving up the time. I know how it feels, you know. My family, as I said, my missus managing the under 13s girls, and I'm doing the 9s, and my sister-in-law's involved the GAA, and I actually was managing assistant manager at a GAA team as well up there. Like, it's mad, isn't it? You don't know.
4 year around the place, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I know.
Just Gar number 2 over
mad.
there.
Yeah, it's just, you go into my house, there's jerseys everywhere. It's just jerseys. There's jerseys and gear, smelly boots and everything. So anyway, there you go.
Do you think going forward, facility wise, you'll get your own place,
or
or
is
that plans?
Look,
is it hard?
It's difficult enough. Like every club in and around the area, we're fighting. We get a few grants for this, that, and the other, but
the council seem reluctant to build and give out.
It depends on whether it's time for a vote. You know what I mean? If it's time for a vote, they'll be out for a photo op. I know some of them are very good, in fairness, but long term, I don't know. We're such a young club. Like, I don't know. We got the change rooms in there. Like, we got a toilet in. They're all small steps, and I think that's the way it has to happen. You're never going to get something like this in quick time. These are 10-year projects, like more. Yeah, I know the GAA club up there. They're moving up to a new ground up at the back of Hollystown there, but they're 15 years gone. You know what I mean? Before they got to that stage, they got the sports capital grant, and there you go. Stick a couple of soccer goals in there. It's a small area and a set of lights. That's all we want, you know.
Leave the bar.
Oh yeah, stop really.
Was that the FUI strategy meeting or whatever a couple of weeks ago? Last week, was it? And every club up there, from the Kevins to newly formed clubs, everything was facilities. That's the biggest grievance. Yeah, the facilities, and they're saying the councils. They said that you need the FUI to back them when they're applying for it. So if they go to the council, city council or whatever, saying, listen, we're looking for 11-side pitch, and we're going to share with this sort of the FUI. They want the FUI to come in and say, listen, give it a push as well, like, for that. But they say we can't really do that. So they say they can't do it. So
Astros is the way forward, lads.
I know, and a lot of injuries do come from them.
I know they do, but I know they do. A lot of injuries come from Nelson, but if we don't have Astros during the winter,
no games.
Kids are not. They're on their tablets.
We played. I think since Christmas Day, one of most of our teams only played one game since Christmas.
There you go,
and
yeah.
This weekend was the first weekend that Kildone was on.
Yeah.
And what we in now, week 4th of March, or 3rd of March or something today.
Yeah.
So, and we only played, that's our first weekend that was on, that's just gone there.
Sure, look how long the seasons went into, even in amateur football and in schoolboy football last year. Like, there was still games being played at our level in June, late June. There was still games being played.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Look, and if I showed you the training plan for our training sessions up there, it's split into, like, for an hour, like there's 8 sections or something, and some of the teams have like a 20 by 40 area. Like,
that's it, the training.
We actually got Philly. What we did, with fairness to Philly, he set out, because he knew each team only had a small area, he set out training plans, 6-week blocks for the coaches, and went, like, there's only a small area, do that. So we're doing everything we can to kind of, for the development of the kids.
Doing what you can,
exactly, with what we can. Now it's up to the coaches to go and do all that, and again, they're all volunteers to put the sessions on and that. But as I said, it's all facilities, and the Astros, I think, is the only way forward. Nobody likes playing on Astros, but the last couple of winters we're at, there's kids not playing football for weeks. You know, they're coming out. Unless you train at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to get dark.
Yeah.
There's another thing. When the kids weren't training last year, I started a running club. I put this thing into the group between all the kids out of the GAA, because I was assistant manager. I was assistant manager of a GAA team, my daughter's GAA team, and then I had the soccer team that I was managing and, like, helping out with the academy. So when the kids weren't training, and I was obviously working nights, so during the day I was kind of off, so I had a couple of hours, so I put a thing out, any of the kids want to come for a run, we'll meet at the container and we'll go do a run, just to get them out. So we built them up to doing 5k runs and everything, you know. But at one stage then there was like 30-40 kids out for a jog, and I'm running in the middle of them all. I was like something out of a movie, you know. I said to myself, oh, what's going on? But that's all just to get them out and get them doing something. Like, they're either on tablets or on phones, or
they need it, don't
they? They do, yeah. And there's good buy-in from them as well, but it must be bleeding mad though, you know.
Yeah. Well, look, it's all for the good of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You love football, they love football, you're putting back into the
That's it. Sure, I'm not even the best runner in my house anymore.
Kids are taking over.
No, Eva ran the bleeding. She ran the ultra marathon there a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. She never ran the length of herself up to COVID. Started running and then ran the ultra marathon.
What's the ultra marathon? What's that?
50k.
50k.
Yeah. 50k. Yeah. She didn't even have the dinner ready when she finished.
She's only holding you back.
Oh, stop. Yeah.
So that's where the future is holding.
Yeah. I'll see what's happening. Yeah, look, I'll go and keep it going as long as we can and see what happens. You know, we'll keep pushing it as far as we can go, and we'll see. Sure, I'm up there all the time. My young fella and my girls are playing as well. Yeah. My girls are doing well, the GAA and the soccer. The oldest, the second one down, Caris, is doing a bit with the Dubs as well. So, Camogie, so she's decent, and Kyle is very good as well. So, look, just keep them going, keep them playing, isn't it?
Yeah. The monkey see, monkey do. Well, seeing yourself and leave it out.
All the time, all the time. And we're there with them all the time. That's the thing. Like, every weekends are all based around sport, you know. Now we do go out and enjoy ourselves as well. And
you always do.
You know,
whenever you're in the country.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But Gar, that was brilliant. We'll go into a few little questions now. We have time. We don't have to run off for this Bows game. But
no. You have to pick him up there. He's down at the Bows game with my daughter. Actually, yeah. Anyway,
we'll go with the first one, Gar. Any regrets?
Oh, that's an awkward one, isn't it? No, I don't really have any regrets. I suppose, no, that's a bit disrespectful saying I shouldn't have left Bluebell when I did after winning the league, because that was my choice to come back to Blanche, you know, so that's probably one. But the big crossroads in my life was when I done the second cruciate. So it was either keep battling that battle to play football, or else go and do your training and set yourself up for a career. So not really, like, you know what I mean? That's, no.
What did you enjoy the most of your kind of splitting your career there, say the League of Ireland side and getting over the cruciates and then playing your best football amateur?
I definitely enjoyed my time at Bluebell more than any of them, because it was just, like I said there earlier, I missed that 25, you know, that mid-20s when everyone's at their best. I missed that kind of time, And I got it back then, maybe at your late 20s. So I really enjoyed that when I was like going hell for leather, you know. So yeah.
It sounds like you missed kind of the group as players that you had with Bluebell when you went to Mochtas. But it was the same lads. And
I did. But then I had
just-
great friends at Mochtas as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Cheryl was there and obviously Philly was there. And yeah, I just probably was just jealous because they'd won the league or they were going to win the league again. That's probably what it was. But that was my decision. You know what I mean? And that was my decision and it is what it is.
Yeah, you go best player you played with.
Oh, that's a difficult one. I suppose like you could go back years ago, but fellas that you didn't really play with, you know what I mean? You were a young fella coming through, but you never really played with him. I thought Tony Griff was a great player. I really did. I thought he was, you know, the ball stuck to him. Like I got a small glimpse of Keith Fatty as well.
He signed with Bluebell.
Yeah, got a small glimpse of him. He was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
What happened there? Did he came and signed and then he lasted only a few months?
Yeah, he lasted a few months, but didn't really play much. But you could see he was at a different level.
Did he have to finish Keith Fatty? Did he?
I'm not sure.
Was he injured?
I'm not sure what the ins and outs of it was. He was. Do you know who was a smashing player? And he never gets enough credit for it. Is Peter Rogers.
Very good.
Peter Rogers was a great player. Like technically immaculate. Like
left foot,
he was immaculate. Yeah, but yeah, in and around there. Besides them, you're talking about players you would have played with years. Like my mate Jay was the best centre half I ever played with.
Jay McGuinness.
He was the best centre half we ever played with. And when he's played against him or whatever, he was it. And you know, I know he obviously went on to have a great career. But do you know when you're playing with somebody and he's your mate and you're kind of going, and he's always good, and you're going, he's fucking brilliant. But then when he goes and plays at the level he did, he goes, I was fucking right. He was brilliant. You know,
Great career. Didn't he?
Yeah, great career. Yeah.
Your best manager.
Well, I had some good managers, I have to say. I did. Like Harry Kenny was a great manager. Christie was a great manager as well. Kevin Brady was great when we were younger. He was fantastic. And then obviously Noonan, motivating fellas. Like the motivation he had.
Different
style.
So different.
Harry
Every
was,
single manager.
Harry was technically the best. Harry was good look at a game and tell you what was happening. He could see it. But he couldn't motivate you the way Noonan could for us winning that league, them leagues. Like he couldn't. He was brilliant at that.
And there you go, right? All the coaching badges in the world, say for Harry Kenny and being leading world material, and then Andy Noonan, the rough and rugged amateur. Do you know what I mean?
Get you over the line. Tell you what you need to. Tell you what you need to hear before the game. Yeah, because like you said,
he pulls the best years out of you.
Like you said, Nelson. Some mornings you're turning up and I'm not having a walk on night or whatever, like, and then all of a sudden, you know, the team talking.
Yeah.
Like within 10 minutes, you're bleeding running through the door. Then they're ready to go. So different types of managers and all very good in their own way. Obviously, I had Stephen Kenny when I was younger, and he was absolutely great with me because it was local and that. But was he really a manager? You were only a young fella around the place, but he was very good to you, you know. So yeah, all different types of manager and all great in their own way.
Best club.
Yeah, it's Bluebell for me because it's where I played my best football. Like, obviously I love the Bows and I'm a supporter of the Bows and played there for all my schoolboy football up. But it would be Bluebell for me.
They'd be your club as an amateur.
Yeah, amateur club, yeah, because I really enjoyed my time there. Yeah.
Good. Your best friend in football?
I'd say, look, we spoke about it earlier with your own group of mates. Mine are the same. I'm very lucky that all my best mates, we all played football together. So
all at a high level.
Yeah, so it's easy for me to say Jay, War, Philly, Ray, you know what I mean? It's easy for me to say that, but I've met some great friends in football, like we all have. Like, Neonan's a great friend of mine. Shawnee Gleeson would be a great friend of mine. Peter Rogers.
Shawnee goes under the radar a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. I was a great player. He was a great player. Just so quiet. Just so quiet, yeah. So, yeah, very lucky. Like I said, all our friends have been through football, so.
Hardest player you played against?
I would say the Crumlin team we played against, battling against for the leagues. That midfield with Buzzer, James Lee, and Kramer. That was really. We played them in a cup final once, and the Charlie Cup final, I think. And it was myself and Shawnee Gleeson in the middle, right? And Neona got that one wrong. If he's listening to this, he got that one wrong because he played me and Shawnee in the middle, and there was the three of them in the middle. I think John Sullivan actually was playing. Is this John Sullivan?
John, yeah.
He was playing, and we couldn't get near them. There was the two of us in the middle against the three of them, and we couldn't get near them. But if you ask me the toughest player I played against, it would be a pick of them three, really. You know what I mean? Every time we played them, it was the toughest game we played against.
Quality games.
Good quality games, players. And tough competitors, and goes to show they won everything, didn't they? Like, and caps and doing all that, So, yeah.
Your favourite memory?
Jeez, loads of great memories. I do have loads of great memories. I'll tell you a story, right? Actually, that's a great memory, and I always remember it, right? As I said, we were schoolboys playing the whole way up. When I was 18, I made my debut down at Dalymount, right? And say around the 80th minute, I was coming on as a sub, and Jay was on the line as well. And my man Dan all were at the game, because we always went to the games, and he says to me, Gary, you're going on there, so get up, and great, and I'm standing on the sideline, and the ball wouldn't go out. Right? So it was honestly about 3 minutes before the ball went out, and by the time the ball was still in play, he was after telling Jay, go warm up, you're coming on. But the ball still hadn't gone out. So he ended up, the two of us came on at the same time. That's brilliant. And that was mad, like, you know what I mean? That was a memory that will always stick with me, because the two of us were obviously, played the whole way up and still best mates and all. That's a great memory for me. Another time, which is a great one, I remember playing for the League of Ireland under 21s every week. We used to meet on a Saturday and train or play on a Saturday. And one Saturday, they said, turn up there and in Frank Park, we're meeting at, say, 10 o'clock, bring our boots and shin guards on a Saturday morning. We're playing a match. Oh, grand, yes. You turn up with your boots and shin guards. We went in, the door got closed. There was players from Cork and whatever.
Was this like a representative of
the
21s?
But we used to meet every week and train. We met in Athlone, we met here, but we were met in Frank Park. So we went into the dressing room, the door got closed. Right, lads, he says, we're playing a match today. He says, but don't contact anybody about this game or whatever. Brian Kerr was the international manager, the Irish international manager. They were at the playing on a Thursday in Sweden somewhere or something, and they were playing Monday in Lansdowne Road or the Aviva, and he was at the changing the formation. So we wanted to play a match with the formation that he was playing. So we went out and played an 11v11 against him. Damien Duff, Robbie Keane. it was me in Frank Hugh. It was me and John Lester in the middle of the park. It was against Kevin Kilban, Alan Kinsley and Matt Holland. We never got near them. That was fantastic. Robbie Keane just running around us and all, and it was brilliant. Yeah. But then obviously winning the first league was a great memory as well. That was because I'd obviously gone to Mochtas and gone to Phoenix and then went to Bluebell and really drove to get that over the line. So that was a release and a great memory.
I then, as known you like as kind of as a long time ago as well, and known you, I didn't think that's how it went. I thought you went to Bluebell, done everything and stayed there, and thought it was all pretty rosy. But I forgot obviously about the time you went to Mochtas and that, but it just goes to show you like how hard it is to get over that line and get that trophy. And
you have to respect it.
And it's like it's different for everybody.
And it's a short, like we're saying, when you're playing at your peak, them decisions have to be right, don't they?
Big time.
You went to Crumlin, you made the right decision.
And after thinking you made wrong decisions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and there's a commitment to it as well. Going over, like you were from Finglas, going all the way over there, and me the same.
All those fucking toll bridges.
Did you were saying that they're going over there at 6 o'clock or something? The traffic's been mental.
Yeah. Sometimes you'd be sitting.
You used to have to time it. I used to try and do you think you judge it? I used to judge it right. I'll leave it bang on 10 past.
Sometimes you'd be sitting on that M50 going, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Do this? I remember Martin Loughlin ringing me, and he was like, be interested in coming over, and I heard Martin didn't ring people too often, you know what I mean? And I was like, fucking, I was like, fucking right, I will. And he's like, will you travel over? I was like, yeah, run over.
I've been waiting for the call.
That was one of the Higgies missing. Fucking got me again. You go, players that didn't fulfil their potential.
Oh, that's a difficult one, because you can't disrespect people, wouldn't you? I tell you, I remember Dave Henderson. I worked with Hendo. He's no Hendo, Dave Henderson. And
goalkeeper?
Yeah. And I remember him telling me about Carlo. He was mate, Carlo Summers. Carlo could have played at a higher level, I think. He did play. And it sounds disrespectful to say didn't fulfil his potential, but I think Carlo could have played at Definitely played at a higher
I
level.
don't think he gave it a chance.
Was he Spawn? Was he?
No, he was with Boas.
He was with Boas,
and
yeah.
played 19s, and then I think he got a couple of first name appearances,
Yeah.
which is obviously probably why Carlo didn't get any international recognition at amateur.
Yeah.
But I think he played probably 2 or 3 games after being playing like with the reserves on 19s or whatever it was, and then he just when I think he realised, because he was only young, Carlo. I think now Carlo could probably tell us different, but from what I know of what happened with Carlo was that when I think he realised then that the League of Ireland wasn't for him, the work situation.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
of course.
And Crockett was at Tolga, and he was like,
it's easy. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy.
I think so as well. I think he.
But Bluebell was kind of a place for players to go that hadn't fulfilled their potential. When you think of the players,
trying to step back up,
there's a couple of players that popped in that you probably wouldn't even know. The likes of Jordan Keegan, do you remember him? Jordan Keegan was some player. Keith Quinn, another one. He was a madman now. But
people went from signing from Bluebell and other teams in League of Ireland as well, going like to Scotland and
that's right.
Dean Ebby was
that Dean Ebb came down.
Didn't he go to Scotland?
Izzy Ekanadi came down and went off as well. He went playing as well. So players that didn't fulfil their potential, there was a lot of players at Bluebell you could have played at a higher level, or maybe did play at a higher level but just didn't stick it out, I suppose. So yeah, there's a few.
Were you with Carlo at Mochtas?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was
in the centre, was it?
Carlo kind of played more on the wing. Yeah.
He played Diamond then, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because you were trying to get Crockett in as well, you know. And Lee Dixon as well. That was another great player. What a madman.
Yeah, Lee probably didn't fulfil his potential.
Definitely not. When he played for Tolka, I thought he was very good. He was very good, but he didn't fancy it sometimes, didn't he? Not,
do you know what? You'd get. I found with Lee when I used to watch him with Tolka and then playing with him at Crumlin, he could be a 10 out of 10 for you, and like he'd be an unstoppable winger, and then another game, then he'd just I don't think he loved it as much, but I think Lee was a big prospect when he was a schoolboy player, and I think probably the hurt maybe. I think he was at clubs.
That happens, yeah.
Trials here and there, and then probably didn't get over it.
Yeah,
probably,
and that happens, doesn't it? You know, absolutely.
We guard the famous one, the best 11.
Oh, that's an awkward one, isn't it?
No one likes that question.
No, because you'd be afraid of leaving people out, don't you? Honestly, but look at it. It is where it is.
I put you in mine, girl.
Hang on, I changed this here. Look, the goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper I played was Andy McNulty. All goalkeepers are mad, but he wasn't mad really. You know, Andy was very clever and pulled us out so many holes. Just a brilliant goalkeeper, I have to say. I think the majority of people that played with him would have him in that team. Another one that he played, I think he played in Europe for Bows and all, and he could have played at that level for a long time, I'd say. But things happen, you know. McNulty would be the goalkeeper. Ozzy was a great goalkeeper. Ozzy O'Neill. Ozzy's my mate, but
he's on the opposite end. He's a lunatic.
That's why Ozzy gets sent off, you know, the odd time. But again, I played down in Limerick, myself, Ozzy and John Lester. And Ozzy was brilliant. Like, really, they loved him down there. So, but Andy would be, because, you know, you want your goalkeeper to stay on the pitch, so.
That's important.
Yeah, it is important, yeah. Look, the left full, I think anyone that played with this fella would have him in that team. It's Tony Keeler. Do you remember Tony? Tony was hard as nails. I loved training with Tony.
A proper leader. I wasn't even playing, I don't know playing against him. He was a leader on the pitch.
I loved training with Tony because playing against him, because he'd give it to you and you give it back to him, and it'd be great, you know. You'd be healthy. Really, say me and him sometimes set the tone in training where we'd be lashing into each other, like, you know, and it was all respectful and brilliant. But Tony would be a left full all day. Look, I don't really think there was that many left fulls that I played with that would put anywhere near him, like, you know, really. He got unlucky with injuries towards the end of his career. I suppose, like myself, he probably, you know, played his best football in his 30s, so was always going to go that way. But Tony be the left full. The centre half, like Jamie Guinness was the best centre half I ever played with, even though he went off playing League of One. We played schoolboy football together and all that, and you'd have to have him in your team, in any team. He was brilliant, honestly. But
many League of Ireland appearances would he be touching?
I don't know, it'd be hundreds, wouldn't it? You know, yeah, it would be. But to play with him as a centre half, though, I thought was absolutely brilliant when I played with him. It was Dean Lawrence. Do you remember Dino?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know another player. I didn't know Dino. You think he came from Sacred Heart? Oh Jesus!
Down with him down in Kildare.
Yeah.
Kildare I think it was.
Was it?
Still
Yeah.
played him down there. Yeah, he went from Sacred Heart to Kildare, and then I think he went down to Bluebell. Then was he Bluebell?
Yeah, he was with Bluebell. He won
Yeah.
the leagues with us at Bluebell, and he was solid as a rock. He
Small,
played centre
yeah.
half with another brilliant centre half, Peter Sherlock. Do you remember Sherlock? Big tall Sherlock. Sherlock was actually.
play up front as well.
He used to play up front. He got junior international caps up front and everything. But I'd pay Jay and Dane Lawrence centre half because Dane would never let you down. Like he'd be there every week and he'd be an 8 out of 10 every week. You know. Right full, I'd say.
That's Aussie, is it?
That's Aussie there. Yeah. Right full is someone that I put him in at right full because you just have to put him in the team. It's Shawnee Gleeson. Like he was a brilliant.
Fit him in the middle.
Yeah, like he was gonna be in the team, and anyway, but
because he used to get put by.
He used to get put back at right full, and he'd be brilliant at right full. Shawnee was just a brilliant player. He could do anything. Opening the body up, and he had dodgy hips. Yeah, you know.
2 touches is all he did.
But I played with him at Phoenix, and he was brilliant on the right. Then at Bluebell, we played together in the middle. Then when they were trying to fit everybody into the middle, he ended up playing right full, and then he ended up captaining the Saturday team. Shawnee Gleeson's in at right full, and anyway for me, I'm not having any wingers in this team, right, because they're lazy animals. The 2 midfielders, the sitting midfielders I'd have is I'd have Gavin Whelan in there. I thought Gavin was a great player.
Good lad as well.
Just great guile, and zipping passes in.
physically,
Yeah, good in the air, strong. Maybe he was at his peak when he was with Drogheda. When he came down to Phoenix, I played a year with him in Phoenix in the middle of the park, and I'd say I'm picking players that I really enjoyed playing with. You know what I mean? I enjoyed playing. I enjoyed playing with Gavin. I really did. The partner Gavin in the middle, I'd have Peter Rogers. I thought Peter was brilliant. Like again, another player that I really enjoyed playing with. Good in the air, like could pick a pass. Would never you say bravery on a pitch. Bravery for me was someone who wanted the ball. Peter would always just give me the ball anywhere. Now there's
Wanted to control the
game. You're leaving out. There's some good players in there as well. Like John Lester I played with was a great player in the middle of the park. But I didn't play amateur football with John, so we played kind of schoolboy football and that together, and like League of Ireland under 21s. But I'd have Peter Rogers and Gavin Whelan. On the left I'd have Carl Summers, because you have to get him in somewhere, in my opinion. Carl was brilliant. As I said, I was raving about him there a few minutes ago, saying he probably could have played at a higher level, but you know that. On the right, I'd have Darren O'Brien. I thought the year I was with Darren, I thought he was a great player. I really did. And again, as I said, I didn't know anything about him, but he stood out to me.
Yeah.
I know he's yours, mate, and he's not in there because of that, but I put him in. I think
you might have been the only Sheriff player that has put in.
Only non-sheriff player.
Non-Sheriff player.
Oh really? Yeah.
That has put in his best 11.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you could have put that Sheriff team anywhere, couldn't you? Not going to be anyone's top 11.
No, just go as a testament that the respect that Daz has for you and you have for him as players. Like
I
think it's fixed in fairness.
I didn't know that now. I must change that. In the number 10, I think anyone that played with this fella as well would have put him in is Tony Griff. The ball just stuck to Tony. Another player that I just love playing with, because if you were a midfielder, you'd ping the ball up to him and it absolutely stuck to him. And a very unselfish player, you know what I mean? He'd rather an assist than a goal. Yeah. That's what I got off him.
Sometimes when you even used to play, I only played with Tony a short period of time at Crumb, but when you played against him at Bluebell, and he could have been playing anywhere. He could have been playing in the 6, or else he could have been in the 8 or the 10 or centre forward. Do you know what I mean? And he'd still be unbelievable.
Yeah, he did end up dropping back and further back. It was still brilliant. Tony being the number 10. And the number 9, I'm picking this fella because I love playing with him. And as I was saying to you, anytime the ball went up to him, it bounced off him some way and I'd put the ball in the net. Was Jerry Bambrick. Do you remember Jerry? I loved playing with Jerry. I loved playing with Jerry. Like the ball be popped up to Jerry and I'd just be running because he'd be elbows and knees and he never scored a normal goal, like just put the ball in the net. Jerry'd have to absolutely put it in. Now I played with some other great centre. Shane Stritch was a great centre forward there. Got loads of junior international caps, and obviously Philly Hughes was probably as good as them all, but didn't see his peak when we were at Mochtas. You know what I mean? He was at he had his peak.
in the league.
Yeah, he peaked kind of League of Ireland. But that'd be my level 11 there.
Perfect,
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Some
Nelson.
players-
Yeah.
I never make it to anyone's. I know weight level. No, fair play. That's somebody in 11, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
No.
be delighted now getting into that. You will.
Strong, yeah, Daz, we happy.
Oh, well, Daz deserves to be in it. Daz,
yeah,
Daz would deserve to be in it now. But I was trying very hard to think of wingers though. I never liked wingers.
Yeah.
Just
It's the lazy ones.
too far out there. You know what I mean? No, that's you. You know, I'd keep it like that. You know.
Keep it narrow.
Yeah, keep it narrow. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, brilliant.
No
Perfect,
bother,
yeah.
lads.
Thanks,
No
yeah.
bother. No bother,
Thanks,
pal.
pal.
Anytime. No bother. Fair play.